All right. Obviously, a tough game. Give Navy a ton of credit. I thought they were the more physical team. I thought they competed harder on the defensive end of the floor, and obviously they won the backboards. And when you go into a game with very good opponents that are well coached, well disciplined, and you're not able to match that, then you're going to put yourself in for a situation where you can be disappointed. And unfortunately, that was the case tonight. It wasn't all bad. We had opportunities. We had moments. Thought we kept kind of pushing the door a little bit, and just we're chasing the game from the jump. And that's two bad games from a starting standpoint. And we're chasing the game from the jump, and just couldn't get over the hump, right? And so we did get 21 assists. We only had 10 turnovers. We took care of the ball. I think when we had good offensive possessions, when we had good offensive possessions, we had plenty of not good offensive possessions. But when we had good ones, you still saw some good movement, some good cutting, and gave ourselves a chance. But to give up 63% from the floor in the second half, you're not going to beat good teams doing that. And so this team's got a chance to be really good. There's no doubt in my mind, and we're not going to overreact by a loss to one of the best teams in the Patriot League. Won the Patriot League last year, very well coached. But we do see that we've got some consistency issues that we've got to address. And when you want to be a championship level ball club, you can't have inconsistencies in effort, and you can't have inconsistencies in your disciplines. And tonight I felt like, there must have been 15 plays of just lack of discipline, right? And just trying to reach for a ball. Overplaying a ball screen, getting too tight, gambling from behind, letting the guy spin and lay it up, not playing post defense with an arm bar. There's just all these things that at the end of the day in big games you got to be able to do. So this will be a great learning experience for us, and it'll be good to watch this on film. We'll get a little bit, we'll take tomorrow off, and then we'll be back to work Tuesday to get it fixed.
Coach, out of those 15 plays you described, would you say most of those ended on a layup by Navy because they had a lot of them?
They had a lot of them.
And how do you kind of address that low post defense going forward?
Scott, it's been an issue, and it's been an issue. So we've got to spend some time, figuring that out. The biggest thing for us is to keep it out of there. And man, they were persistent to get it in there tonight. It was one action after another. And the problem is they shot the ball with good confidence. They didn't shoot many threes, but they were 4 for 12 from three, and they've got guys out there that can shoot, and so they're late. I can't remember exactly what the score was, but Slauson goes to dig down, and they throw it to the top of the key, and he hits a wide open three. And so some point at this level, you got to be able to play the post one-on-one, and you got to be able to be physical. You got to use your arm bar. You got to be able to wall up. And you got to be able to force somebody to take a tough two over top. And we're just not there yet. We're just not there yet. So we got to figure it out. And, it seemed like, and it'll be interesting to see, like, how many of them were just one-on-one plays, and then how many of them were just lack of discipline that led to a 5-on-4 or a 4-on-3 where they had a clear advantage and they got an unaffected layup. If they're in the box and they're taking affected twos and they're scoring over the top of us and they make it, hey, you just got to tip your cap to it, right? But if they're getting unaffected layups and it's because of our lack of discipline and we're not in proper position, then that's what we've got to address.
Mike obviously had a tough night. You're gonna have some of those throughout a season. This was really maybe his first. I thought he wore that a little bit throughout the game. Can you just talk about how hard that is to kind of manage as a coach, like not getting down on himself and the other players not seeing that?
Yeah, listen, Mike's gonna be fine, and nobody's immune to not having a bad night. That's gonna happen occasionally. I think that what I want Mike to understand, like, he's gonna be at the top of every scouting report, and he just got to really focus on really defending at a high level. And if he'll get to that point to where the intensity that he brings defensively, and he'll make that his focus and kind of lose himself in the game of just trying to play the game within the game of just, hey, let me see if I can win my matchup down here. Let me see if I can talk and fly around, get deflections. Because listen, we got a team that's really good in open court, and it's definitely the strength of what we do. It's really hard to guard us in open court. they got us because all these layups, as Scott, as he pointed out to. I mean, we were having to play against a set defense a lot, and I thought I didn't see him discouraged. That was the positive. I know he had some open looks from three, and I know he wanted those to knock down, but that's going to happen some nights. To go 3 for 12. I don't think we're going to see many of those nights from Mike, but tonight was one of them, and he'll get back to work. He's a tough guy. He's not going to flinch, and he's going to get everybody's best punch. And they were going under him a little bit. They were sloughing him so they didn't get back cut. And we've got to get more movement in those times. The ball got a little stuck, especially in the first half. We got to get more ball movement to get in closeout situations to be able to get an advantage and get downhill.
And Coach, one of your bright spots tonight was Alex Williams off the bench. You actually had your only positive plus-minus on the night, or the afternoon, I should say. You had 10 points. Can you just kind of tell me what you saw out of Alex tonight?
Yeah, I mean, it's what we've been able to see in Alex for basically all fall. I mean, he's been one of our higher level producers point-wise in practice. And, it's been learning our concepts, learning our plays, learning his defensive assignments. But Alex Williams is going to be a really good player. He is a really good player, and he's a tough matchup. And so, I think to get him out there for 17 minutes tonight, he doesn't look overwhelmed. He just looks like he likes to compete. And that's what this game comes down to, right? Like, you have to, in big games and big moments, you have to enjoy just the act of competition and who can fight the hardest and who can sit down and play. And, he just goes out there and, he's moving his feet, he's getting in a stance, he's flying in there for some rebounds, he's driving the ball, he's open, he's willing to take shots. He just plays the game with a lot of confidence. And so he's somebody we want to continue to work in, and he was the same way at halftime. He had the highest plus and minus, and we wanted to get him a few more minutes. I think he played about 6 in the first half and then got 11 or 12 in the second half. But he's going to have a very bright future here.
Coach, what did you kind of just tell the team? Because this is not something you've had to do very often. Here, I think this might be your second non-conference home loss ever as a head coach. I think the first one was your first year here. Just kind of what was the message after the game?
We didn't defend well enough to earn the right to win the game. It's this game has to be played a certain way, and for us, when we choose not to defend at the level that we are capable of, and really, like, a lot of these guys know what we're supposed to do in those situations. I mean, we've got older guys out there, and we're just getting direct line driven, just straight line drive over and over. At some point, Scott, you got to decide, like, we're going to get a stop, right? We're going to do the necessary things to just systematically get stops, and that might take 20 seconds, right? But when you try to shortcut it, and you're like, hey, you know what? We're 10 seconds in. I'm going to take a stab at this ball, or I'm going to jump this ball screen a little bit more. It's supposed to be a one-step show. I'm going to show 2 or 3 steps, right? Or I'm going to gamble and reach right here, and then they get on the edge. Like, when you make those shortcut plays, they always come back and get you versus good teams. And that's what I'll be interested in, to see the tape. Listen, we're 3-2. It's not going to be the end of the world around here. We've chosen to play, really, to be honest with you. I mean, show me a team our level that's played a schedule this tough, right? Like find one. Show me. I mean, we've played 1-9-1. We've been on the road twice, 2 top 50 programs. We've brought in a Patriot League team that won the Patriot League last year, right? And then Radford, this is a historic, top-tier team in the Big South. So, we could have played an easier schedule. We could have had 2 9-1s, and, we could be sitting around here 4-1 and maybe feeling a little bit better about ourselves, but we're not. And, so what we do know is when you play against really good competition, you figure out what your issues are a little quicker. And I think that's what the hope is that, like, this stuff, we don't have to wait until, December, early January to figure it out. Like, we're getting to see what those issues are quickly, and we're seeing a ton of good, like, listen, this team's faster out the gate than most people expected. We had a hiccup today. Like, we'll learn from it, we'll deal with it, and we'll get better from it. But at the end of the day, like, when you play really good teams, you get to see where your weak spots are. And right now, we got to be better in the box. That's pretty clear. We got to be more disciplined defensively. And then offensively, we got to continue in those tough moments to trust each other, trust the movement, and to keep working at it. But, listen, I hate losing any game. Like, losing's never any fun. It's brutal. And but if there's things that we can learn from and we can get better from that can help us in league play, then that's what this is all about. Trying to get your team to be the best they can once we get to January, February, March.
To your point, Navy's schedule probably paid off for them today.
Absolutely,
They played too.
absolutely. I mean, look what they've done. They went and played 3 high majors, and so yesterday they got to play a common opponent, and man, they were fired up to guard. They were hungry to come get a win. They held a team to 8 points in a half, right? And they got some momentum off of that, and then they did the same thing today again. I mean, this team beat Virginia. You know, like I'm not gonna walk out of here with my head down. You know, you hate to lose, but when you're playing quality opponents, then you know you're going to put yourself in more games like that. And you know, again, the more we can see this, the quicker we'll grow. As long as we'll have the humility to accept it, right? If we don't take responsibility for it, and we allow pride to get in the way, and we refuse to accept the lesson here, then we won't get better from it. You know, like if we don't watch the film and see that we can't guard like that, right? We can't be, then we won't get better from it. But if we start to learn the level of consistency of effort, the level of consistency with our defensive discipline, and understanding that we've got to show up and be able to play like that from the jump, then this team will look back on this and it will be something that we get better from.